Fool, fool, you won't find your way out by praying from a book. The perfume on your carcass won't give you a clue. Focus on the self. That's the best advice you can get. Fool, you won't find your way out by praying from a book. The perfume on your carcass won't give you a clue. Focus on the self. That is the best advice you can get. What is common between a book, the perfumed carcass, which is the body, and the world? What is common between these three? Nice. Getting it? No redemption lies there. Look at this, it's very simple. What bothers you? The mind bothers you, right? What is the mind full of? The inputs from the senses. Or you could also say the projections outwards from the senses. Same thing. You can say the senses bring the world in, or you could say that the senses project the world out. It is the same thing. But the senses are there. And the mind is full of sensual material. The mind is full of sensual material. That is the mind's curse. That is the mind's hell. Sensual material. When the sensual material is your hell, then how can sensual material, which is the world, redeem you? Don't you see this? Sensual material itself is your bane. Then how can anything that comes to you through the senses redeem you? How can it help you? Not getting it. What is bothering you? Something that is going on, right? In the mind, right? That is what bothers you. How did it reach the mind?
From outside.
When the mental material itself is the load, how can more mental material relieve that load? Is that not obvious? Is that not obvious? Not getting it yet.
We don't lift like this.
Exactly. Somebody comes to you and says, I'm carrying this heavy load. I'm carrying this heavy load. And it is so heavy that I'm collapsing under it. Will you help him by saying, here, these are 2 books. Keep them on your load and your load will be reduced. Will you do that? Are you helping him or punishing him? He already has 100 kilograms of load and you have given him 2 kilograms more. Are you helping him or punishing him? For us, prayers are mere words. And what are words? Oral inputs. For us, happiness lies in sensual pleasure. So she is saying, don't perfume your carcass. That is the same thing as saying, don't run after things that look nice. And don't be deceived by words that sound musical. And don't fall prey to nice taste and sweet aroma. focus on the within. Focus on who you are. That is the best advice you can get. You will not get the medicine outside. Nothing outside can help you. No religious scripture, no guru, no guide. Nobody can help you on the outside. You have to go inside. Yes, when you go inside, then you find that unexpectedly help is also coming from the outside. But first of all, you have to resolve that I will go inside. And going inside is nothing but seeing the foolishness of always rushing outwards. You have to see that it's such a foolish thing to think that I can attain any kind of quietude or relaxation or joy somewhere out in the world. That some girl or boy or man or woman or money or position or anything else can give it to me. You have to see the futility of that. You've already done enough of that, right? We are all adults here. We have already done enough of that. Chasing around. Have we not? Have we not? You have been chasing since decades now. Aren't you still chasing? You go to a restaurant and you come out with an empty stomach. Why are you again and again going to that restaurant? Do you see what I'm asking you? You go to a restaurant and you come out and you are still hungry. Would you go again to that restaurant? But is that not what you are doing? You have been chasing and finding that you still need to chase more. Then should you keep chasing? A good chase is that which gives you something that stops the chase. Is that not so? A good restaurant is one that gives you something that treats your hunger. Is a restaurant a good restaurant if it still keeps you hungry? Is a chase a good chase if it says keep chasing? But you have kept chasing and you are still chasing. The wise mind looks at this and says, enough of chasing. And when you stop chasing outwards, that itself is called going within. That is called, what Lalla is saying as, focus on the self. This focus on the self is the stopping of the chase, coming through an observation of life by the attentive mind. The attentive mind looks at life all around. What am I doing? What have I obtained? Is it giving me something? Where are my sufferings coming from? He sees all this. And when he looks at it sharply, with all the power that he has, he decides, he resolves, I need to understand. And he looks at it sharply. He sees, oh my God, I am wasting. Life is being wasted. This is not all right. These ways lead nowhere. And this stopping, this realization, this stopping is the inner journey, the beginning of the inner journey. Focus on the self. That is the best advice you can get. But you cannot focus on the self when you are parallelly focusing on that particular job. I am focusing on the self. You had this character yesterday, right? Ghanta Baba, who was saying Om. Now, focusing on the self with one hand on the stomach. It is not possible. You have to first see that the stomach will never be the source of joy to you. Its nature is to remain perpetually hungry. Which stomach am I referring to? This stomach. So you cannot say I'm focusing on the self parallelly chasing a girl. Right? You actually really have to see that it is stupid to chase. And that is called focusing on the self. Are you getting this? Not mere words that I focus on the self. Can you get me please a few things from the